I hope my screen is visible. So this is about me. I'm Vishnu Chaudhary, and I'll be your instructor for Microsoft Fabric training. And I have overall more than 9 years of experience in data analytics, and I've been delivering trainings on Azure from the last 3 to 4 years. And from the last 1 year, almost, I've been delivering trainings on Fabric also. Like as soon as Fabric comes, not even comes in the market, it was just in public preview. I've been using that. So I think almost 2 years are, yeah, from the last, I think more than 1.5 year I've been using Fabric. And I've worked on a couple of technologies using like SQL, Power BI, Python, Big Data Spark, Fabric, Azure also. So I think I haven't mentioned that. So Azure also from the last like 4 5 years, and data modeling on both Star, Snowflake, and even that Data Vault 2.2 also, and ETL tools like Informatica, ADF, and all of the ETL tools I've used. And if you want to connect with me, you can connect with me on LinkedIn, YouTube. Like I've created this YouTube channels almost 1 year, I think 2 years back, but I didn't get a chance to put videos from the last 1 year. So all the videos on this channel is on Microsoft Fabric. So if you go to further go and check about the content which I provide, you can check on this channel as well. Now, come to the part what exactly we are going to cover in our Fabric session. So before starting the Fabric, first we need to understand some basic concepts. So we'll cover these concepts while learning the Fabric only. Okay, these are not like something which I'm going to take sessions separately. These are the concepts which we are going to learn while doing the things like while learning the lake house or the warehouse, where you need to learn what is the staging area, what's your reporting layer. Then we will learn about the Mendelian architects. Then we'll learn about slowly changing dimensions. Both like these are the main slowly changing dimensions we generally use in a day-to-day life. Then we'll yeah, at the starting, I'll explain you about this lakehouse, warehouse, and data lake. Then while learning the Power BI, before starting, we'll learn about star and snowflake schema. Okay. So now come to the part what exactly we are going to cover in on Microsoft Fabric training. So as I'm not able to cover all the things on a single page, so it looks like concrete things which we are going to cover, but there will be lot of things in detail. So as I mentioned lakehouse, but like for the lakehouse we'll have lot of things in detail, like what in lakehouse. While creating a lakehouse, you'll see three things: lakehouse, SQL endpoint, cementing model, and all that. So everything we'll discuss in detail. So I just mentioned the topic part only. Okay. Then we'll learn about notebooks. So without notebook, you're not able to like work on a lake house. So you should know notebook. And for using the notebook, we'll learn Spark SQL, PySpark, and T-SQL. So T-SQL will be used for warehouse, and this Spark SQL and PySpark will be used for lakehouse. So uh, I think few days back they have uh, come up with something where you can use Spark, SQL, and PySpark for warehouse also. Like earlier, reading was allowed. Now, writing will also be allowed for us. Then we'll also learn how you can set up the environment, Spark environment for yourself. Then we'll learn about data pipeline, data flow, Gen 1, Gen 2, shortcut. Then we'll design some framework for us where a single pipeline will be able to handle multiple tables or files, like maybe 100 tables or maybe hundreds of the files which are coming from the source, and load in your lakehouse or the warehouse. And then we'll learn about the incremental load in both lakehouse and warehouses. And we'll also learn about loading the data from REST API, where we'll authenticate to that particular REST API, and then we'll fetch the data in form of JSON, and then we'll extract the data from that JSON file. Then we'll learn about basics of Power BI, And once we are done with the power basics of Power BI, as I'm not going to cover advanced level Power BI, but at least you should be able to work on the Power BI side, like how you can get the data, how you can build a report, and how you can publish it, and how you can schedule it. So we'll have at least 4 or 5 days of session on Power BI, and then we'll learn about the security within the Microsoft Fabric. So we have uh, four level of security. So let four level of security where workspace level, item level, and then lakehouse or warehouse level. So these are the four types of, on four level we have the security. Then we'll build the like real-time projects from the last, I think, 1 years, whatever I'm doing on Microsoft Fabric. I'll take it, take a real-time project, and then we'll mock that particular data, because I'm not going to use a real-time data, but we'll have the same feel. Like we are going to use the same structure, same architect, what I have used in my real-time project, and then we will develop that particular project, and then we will have deployment pipelines. Okay, we'll so I'm not going to cover the Azure DevOps. Okay, I'm not going to cover the Azure DevOps. For Azure DevOps, you need a separate training to learn uh, what exactly is a DevOps, how you can build the pipeline. But in this project, we are going to set up the Azure DevOps so that you will be able to learn how you can version your code within the Azure DevOps, like saving the code within the Azure DevOps. For moving the data, like moving your code from test, like dev to test to prod, in Microsoft Fabric, we have deployment pipelines. So we are going to learn about it. So there are other way, which is an automated way using Azure DevOps. So we are not covering that in our uh, Fabric training, because for learning the Azure DevOps, you will require at least 2 3 months. And this whole training we are going to cover in only 2 months. Okay. Then I'll provide you the guidance on clearing the DP600 as well as the DP700. I'll cover all the topics of the DP600 and DP700. Then you need to go to you need to go to in detail about those particular projects. So it might be a scenario, let's suppose you need some theoretical knowledge about it. So I'll cover everything. Let's suppose I have ABC topics. I'll cover all those three topics practically. But to learn more about it, you need to go to uh, like you need to have a theoretical knowledge to clear the exam. So I'll provide the guidance in clearing DP600 as well as DP700. Okay. So now come to the part, what exactly is Microsoft Fabric? You can see it covers everything, like Synapse data science, where you can build your machine learning models, and even they right now after like I think few months back they also have some AI skills part also, where you can build your AI models and all that. So this this comes with the concept of your Synapse. Okay, earlier they have Synapse. Now this fabric is built on top of Synapse only. It has all the capabilities of Synapse, but Synapse, under the hood of the Synapse, we use the ADLS, which store the data in the ADLS, like at different locations. But in Fabric, we have one lake, which is similar to your OneDrive. So everything is going to be stored in one lake. So even if you are going to use Lakehouse, Warehouse, or KQL database, everything is going to be stored in one lake. Okay, and that is going to be in the format of Parquet. So what exactly this one lake is? So like as we know about OneDrive, where we can save the data, like in folder files and folders, and I can provide access to the different team members. So let's suppose there is a person A which wants to share the data with the person B. Okay, then we can simply provide the access and they can use it. So without like sending these files over the mail, I just provided them the access and they can use it within their machine. So the same concept apply here. So let's suppose the team T1 and there is team T2. Okay, they have are working on Lakehouse 1, Lakehouse 2, Warehouse 1, Warehouse 2. So before starting that, so if you have seen the about the Power BI, so in the Power BI, the top level is a workspace. Okay, where you are going to build all the things which we called it items. Item are your lake house, warehouse, data pipeline, and all that stuff. Okay. So this is the top level entity. And under this, we have these items. Okay. Now let's suppose the team one is working on these lake houses, lake house one, lake house two, lake house. Okay. And team two is working on 2 W1, which is under a single tenant. I'll come to the part what exactly is tenant and all that. So they're using the same Microsoft Fabric, but different workspaces. Let's suppose workspace one, workspace two. Okay. Then this data is going to be saved inside the one lake only. And let's suppose this team one wants to use the data of T2, like any of the lake house, either this lake house, warehouse. So they can simply, this team two can simply provide the access, read access to their data. So like if they have they provide the read access to the team one, what they can do, they can simply get the data from here, the which was saved by uh, team two, and there is no need to copy the data like earlier what we used to do. We like this is again the available in other tools also in Databricks also, but I'm talking about the in Synapse it was not there, but in Fabric it's there. So you can kind of, earlier you need to build a data pipeline to move the data from this workspace to this workspace, then you can use it. But now you just provide the read access, okay, and then no need to build the pipeline. So they can create a shortcut on your lakehouse or the warehouse, and then they can simply start using it just by using like Slack star from your lakehouse, or maybe some notebook like reading the lakehouse table in a notebook like using Spark. So and then further they can do the analysis over this data, and then they can store it for their aggregated purpose or anything. Okay, but you don't need to copy the data which is already saved by the one team two in the one lake. You just need the access to that data, and then you can use it further. Okay. Now come to the part where like, so there are some basic things which we need to know about Azure. So as everyone I think know about it, it's a cloud computing platform which provide everything over the internet. Okay. Earlier, like companies have their on-premises systems where they have servers. Servers is nothing but similar to your laptop, which has which will have multiple machines. Okay, multiple machines is machines, multiple machines. So machines is nothing but a similar to your laptop, which will have some CPU, RAM, and storage. Okay, and we will have in a server, we'll have multiple machines which are connected to each other. Okay, so earlier what happens in on-premises systems, let's suppose we have a requirement for more CPU, RAM, and storage. We buy those commodity hardwares and then we plug in and then we use it further. So it takes a lot of time. Now Azure, AWS, GCP, Oracle, SAP, they come up with something called like cloud computing, with where they are providing these resources over the internet. For this, they have built their own data centers, and in these data centers we have servers. So as per your need, you can get whatever you want, and you don't even need to know like how they are configuring it for you, but they will provide you the security, like they will have the servers. Okay, so as per your need, like as a pay as you go model, this can be increase or decrease over the time period. Okay, you don't need to like set up everything at the back end, you just need to pay for that and then you can use it. Okay, and in the Azure top level we have tenant, which is your like Deloitte.com, ey.com, tcs.com. So this is the top level, which is tenant. Okay, and then we have subscriptions. So it can be multiple subscriptions. Okay, let's suppose you one subscription for one like one team S1, this is for other team, and this is for other like domain level. Okay, this is for one domain, this is for the one domain, this is for one domain. So you can have multiple subscription. Then we have resource groups. Okay, so this resource group can be, let's suppose our team is working on this, so they can give the name as T1 dev, and then we have just a second, test and prod. Okay, they can do the development in this, and they can have the data factory here, and maybe like Synapse here, and blob storage and other web applications they can build, and then they can move it further. Okay, so this resource group is for that, and these are called these data factory and Synapse called data applications. Okay, now let me come to the part about Microsoft Fabric. As it is built on top of Synapse, so Synapse is nothing but which is the combination of your data factory and ADLS location, blob storage, and then we have Spark. Okay, then we have Azure Data Explorer. Azure Data Explorer. Okay, and there are other things also. So this is Microsoft Fabric is built on top of that, but it's under the hood. It is using one lake, and it uses the Synapse uses ADLS. Okay, and this Synapse is a your platform as a service, and this is as a software as a service. So what I mean is, here you need to maintain these data factory and all that. You need to do lot of configuration, and let's suppose you build a data warehouse, then you need to increase and decrease the you can say the uses of that, like, and then accordingly you it like you need to scale it by yourself. But here you don't need to do that, you don't need to maintain these such things, those are already configured for you. You use it, use those softwares for your development purpose. You don't need to worry about the configuration, like how those are going to integrate with each other. So everything is integrated by itself. Like here we need create linked service connections, then data sets, then we move the data here and there. So we don't need to worry about that. So because it's a software as a service that is fully integrated, like these data pipeline, data flow, Gen2 and your lakehouse warehouse has fully integrated with your one lake. So we don't need to worry about the configuration part. Okay. So, and how this fabric is enabled in Azure is basically, so for this, as we have like subscription S1, so let's suppose tenant N1 will have subscription S1, then we have created a resource group. Let's suppose you have created a resource group RG called MS Fabric. You can give any name to, or maybe anything. Okay. Then inside this resource group, you create a like you can create data pipeline, data factory, synapse, data ADLS location, Azure blob storage location. You can create a within a resource group. So in such a way, we also create fabric capacity. Okay, and this capacity can be moved from 2 to I think 256 to F2, F4, F6. We'll discuss about this in detail, what exactly this capacity is. F16, F64, and so on. I think 256, and we have more than that also. And this can be scaled accordingly. If you, as per your need, you can scale that. So we'll discuss about what exactly is. So once this is created in Azure, you can go to the Power BI or Fabric. Okay, now it has been changed to Fabric. Then you can just logging it, and you can create a workspace there, and you can assign that Fabric capacity to your workspace. Okay, you can assign Fabric capacity to your workspace. Now, let's suppose if you need to enable the free trial for you, what you can do, you like this is only be feasible with either free trial, Azure free trial version, the above which I've mentioned, Azure free trial version, for which you need a debit card or credit card, and they will charge you only 2 rupees. Okay, they won't charge you more than that. Then, and again, we can do it for pay as you go model, which companies generally use. Okay, now if you need the free trial version of Fabric, okay, I'm not talking about Azure. Okay, free trial version of Fabric, so you don't need to do all these things. You can do it through your personal email also. It was supported 1 week ago, but now they have also disabled this part also. So I need to come up with a workaround. So for that purpose, we need to generate some temporary email through some website. Okay. Then we are going to use these temporary emails to generate free trial for us. Okay. As we are going to move further with the session, we'll do these activities. Okay, first we will enable the free trial for you. Once this free trial is enabled, then we are going to do it further. So I can just quickly show you about so this is all we have. Like you can say, one lake is storing the data, finance, customer, everything is in a delta format. We use the Parquet. Okay, and you can get the data from using these activities, like which is uh, this is storing the KQL DB. So we'll you can just ignore this part. Okay, this is a little bit complex, so you can focus on this part. Okay, this PBI and all that. So this is arrives in a concept of in Azure, we have Azure Data Explorer, which is used for real-time data. Now they called it as in Fabric called it as KQL database or event house or event yeah, KQL database. Okay, where they use a different language which is KQL, but you can use the SQL as well. We'll do it further, and then you can fetch the data from your one lake either using data pipeline, data flow, Gen2, or Spark or anything. Okay. So what are the things which we have? You can see one lake we have, which is used to store the data. For ingestion part, we have a data flow, data pipeline, and as well as you can use Spark also. Then we have for the storage purpose, lakehouse, warehouses, and there I think KQL database also there, which should come here, but on this image it's not there. So KQL database also can store the data. And for the transformation part, you can use KQL query, SQL like SQL, T-SQL, data flow Gen2, and Spark. Okay, and for the analysis part also, you can use the notebook, Power BI, and KQL also, and then you can build your reports on top of that. So this is all we have in the Fabric, and we are going to cover each and everything in our session. Okay, so I'll discuss this part later, creating Fabricity and all that. So I just wanted to show you how the fabric looks like. Okay, so let me. So when you go to the Fabric first time, when the Fabric trial is enabled for you, you will see something like that. Okay. Then you will see workspaces. So you need to create your workspace for that. Once you create a workspace, okay, so you can see you will have like the top level item was workspace. Then we have uh, items inside this, which is your data pipeline, data flow gen 2, okay, everything here. So we are going to use these lakehouse, warehouses, and all that. And then about the Azure, okay. So you can see we have the tenant, the top level entities are tenant, okay, which is this one. Then we have subscription, okay, which is disabled for us, but anyway. But then we have subscription. Then after that we have resource groups. So I click on this. So you can see we have resource groups. Then inside resource group, you will have your resources. Here we have ADLS N2 and Azure SQL database. Okay. So inside this resource group, you can create your own capacity. I can quickly show you. I'll not able to create because this is disabled for us. This one. So you can create this capacity and then you can assign this capacity to your workspace. So if I show you, just a second. Yeah. So if I go on a workspace, you can see license information. Yeah, okay, I can see it now. So you can see we are, as of now, we are using trial version. But let's suppose you're working in a company and then you can assign the Fabric capacity. So that will be enabled for you once you have created the Fabric. But for our training session, we are going to use the trial version only. Okay. So that's it for the demo part today. So as we are going to move further, we'll do things one by one, like enabling the Fabric capacity for us. Then we'll create a workspace. We'll explore items, what we have in our, and then we'll start with the lake house. How the Fabric is different with data engineering. So, like as I have explained, like it's a software as a service. Like we have other platforms also, Snowflake, Databricks also. Their own Databricks also. Same kind of a functionality is provided over the one workspace. Multiple users can work. That is use fully the Spark. So they don't have any kind of a data pipeline or data flow gen 2, which is like a kind of an ETL tool. Everything we need to write through the Spark code, but here you have the data pipeline and data flow join 2, which is kind of an, okay, let me just quickly show you. So here we have data pipeline to move the data, and we have data flow gen 2. Then we have notebook. So inside the notebook, yeah, we do the coding part, which is similar to your Databricks where we do the Spark coding. So here you can do the T-SQL and everything. So there also right now you will be able to write T-SQL also, but in the T-SQL, in the notebook in Microsoft Fabric, you can write Spark, PySpark, Spark SQL and T-SQL code. And again, we have one for real-time streaming also. They, like in Databricks we use Spark streaming. Here you can also use Spark streaming, but you have something called KQL database. Okay, so for that you can build event streaming pipeline. Okay, and this is similar to kind of an ETL pipeline. You just write block like source block, target block, and in between some transformations you can do. And this is a real-time streaming pipeline I'm talking about. Okay, which can be connected to your Kafka or message queue. and or maybe your there are some AWS systems on it can connect. Then we have Azure Events Hub, it can connect, so it can connect to multiple systems. Okay, then you can use this further using Spark or KQL, whichever you want to use it. But these are the, I think, the backbone of Fabric. Even this notebook is used in data science and AI part.